All right, ladies and gentlemen, Baltimore Ravens snap a losing streak against the Pittsburgh Steelers by winning 34-17. Lamar Jackson had an MVP-like game. 𝐏𝐸𝐿 Henry showed why he's the best running back in the league. All that and more next on the Double R Postgame Show.
Yeah, have I been gone this long? They actually have a tablet ordering system now where you don't even got to talk to nobody no more.
Yeah.
I go in there, I'm like, I put my order, I'm like, was this always here?
Yeah.
This is your boy Retro Recap, Double R Podcast, Ravens, Orioles. Alrighty, everybody, welcome into the Double R Podcast. This is your boy Retro Recap, and we are here to deliver the post-game show reactions, comments, and all that good stuff. Baltimore Ravens win the game 34-17 over the Pittsburgh Steelers. Both teams are officially now 10-5. Steelers won the first matchup in Pittsburgh 18-16. Ravens get revenge, winning in Baltimore 34-17. Let's look at the numbers. Russell Wilson went 22 of 33, 217 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, had a pick 6, by the way, that was crucial in this game. 92.6 quarterback rating. Jaylen Warren, running back for the Steelers, 12 carries for 48 yards. Najee Harris, 9 catches, 42 yards. The top receiving guy for Pittsburgh, Calvin Austin, who played a big role in this game, 4 catches for 65 yards, had a long catch of 44 yards. Let's go over to the Ravens. Lamar Jackson, 15 of 23, 207 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 1 interception. Had a passer rating of 115.4. Derrick Henry did his thing from the beginning of the game to the end of the game. 24 carries, 162 yards, and that's what you like to see in a rivalry game, is having Derrick Henry show up and show out. 24 carries, 162, had a long run of 44 yards. Zay Flowers, the top man receiving, 5 catches, 100 yards, cracked the 100-yard mark. Mark Andrews, 4 catches, 37 yards, a touchdown. Isaiah Likely had a touchdown grab as well. Baltimore Ravens did what they need to do. Baltimore Ravens clinch a playoff berth. Baltimore Ravens are still in the running for the AFC North with this win. Huge win for the Ravens, because if they had lost this game, the AFC North would be the Pittsburgh, and you would have got swept. You would have got swept again by the same team year after year after year. This is good for the Ravens, a good look. We were all wondering, how are they going to respond? Steelers had no George Pickens, no Deshaun Elliott, and then they lost Porter at some point in the game. I think it was the third quarter. So the Ravens had to win this game. With the injuries that the Steelers have, this was a must-win game for the Baltimore Ravens. So good job for them. Lamar Jackson didn't have his best game, but you won the game against a division rival. You threw 3 touchdown passes. You did your job. Let's go ahead and look at the game stats overall tonight. Pittsburgh Steelers had 315 yards of total offense, in terms of total yards, I should say. Baltimore Ravens cracked 400 yards. I mean, how often do you see Ravens cracking 400 yards against the Steelers? Ravens are usually like in that 280, maybe 300 range. Got 418 yards tonight. 1 turnover. Steelers had 2 turnovers. Steelers had 19 first downs. The Ravens had 25 first downs. Time of possession. Steelers had the ball for 27 minutes and 35 seconds. Ravens had the ball for 32 minutes and 25 seconds. Let's look at the overall numbers here. Team stats. Steelers were 0-1 on 4th down, and I'm still wondering, why did they go for that 4th down? Not only did I not like the call instead of punting the ball, I didn't like the read. He made a deep ball throw, and on 4th down, on a down you have to have it. I never like 4th downs being a long ball unless the man is wide open. I didn't like that play. Both teams were 4 of 10 on 3rd down. Both teams were 40%. Ravens ran 62 plays compared to the Steelers 60. Yards per play. Ravens lead the league in yards per play. Ravens had 6.7 yards. I mean, just think about that. You're almost averaging 7 yards a play. I mean, they were literally gashing the Steelers on multiple plays this game. Both teams ironically finished with 198 yards passing, which I find absolutely kind of crazy. Yards per pass, though, the Ravens were 8.3 yards per pass, where the Steelers were 5.5. Both quarterbacks threw an interception. Steelers had Ravens had 1 sack against Lamar Jackson, and that was Highsmith. And then the Ravens got sacked Russell Wilson 3 times in this game. Ravens gashed the Steelers for 220 rushing yards. Steelers had 117 rushing yards. So yeah, but it was a lot of fumbling happening in this game. Ravens fumbled the ball, what, 3 times in this game? But they recovered all 3 of their fumbles. I think that was the key thing in this game. If the Ravens had lost just one of those fumbles, this might be a different game. They were fumbling the ball, but they held on to it. Meanwhile, the Steelers had a fumble, and they also had, that was a fumble by Russell. That was actually the turning point of the game. Russell Wilson had a big gain on running the ball, and I forgot who hit him, Chris Board. I forgot who hit him. And the ball came out, Chris Board recovered it, and the Steelers were in the red zone at that point. That was a big play for the Ravens defense. And I think that was a crucial play. I think you could argue the pick 6 as well by Marlon Humphrey, but I think the play with Russell Wilson fumbling the ball was the game changer in this game. All right, so let's talk about game ball. I'm gonna get my 3 game balls out. First game ball is going to go, well, sorry, number 3, because we're gonna go 3, 2, 1 as far as number 1 game ball. Number 3, I am going to give the number 3 game ball to, I am going to give it to Kyle Van Noy. Kyle Van Noy balled out this game. I seen Kyle, you can give it to Kyle Van Noy or you can give it to Marlon Humphrey. I'm gonna give it to Kyle, let me see. Kyle Van Noy had a sack, and you know what? No, I'm gonna give it to Marlon Humphrey. I'm gonna give it to Marlon Humphrey because not only did you get an interception, but you've returned it for a touchdown. I'm gonna give it to Marlon Humphrey. Kyle Van Noy was in the backfield a few times. He had 3 quarterback hits. He had 1.5 sacks. He had a tackle for a loss. Kyle Van Noy, Marlon Humphrey, either one you can. I mean, Kyle Hamilton can always be a game ball because Kyle Hamilton makes that much of a difference on the field. But I'm gonna give it to Marlon Humphrey. Number 2, gotta give it to I gotta give it to Lamar Jackson because even though Lamar Jackson had 3 touchdown passes, he had that 1 interception. Had a good game though. But Lamar Jackson's gonna get my number 2 game ball. Number 1 game ball has to go to Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry gashed this team all night long. 24 carries, $162. Even though he didn't get in the end zone, he was a very crucial piece to why the Ravens offense was moving from the get-go. If you look at the beginning of the game, and I was like, Ravens are running a lot of shotgun running plays. The reason why that's important is because they become less predictable. When the Ravens run the ball with Derrick Henry, it's always I formation, single back. They were doing a lot of shotgun running plays, a lot of 11 personnel running plays, which means 1 running back and 1 tight end, 11 personnel. Usually the Ravens run 22 personnel, 2 running backs and 2 tight ends. And usually when they're in that formation, Derrick Henry is running the ball. This time they're like, you know what? We're going to spread you out with the shotgun with 3 receivers. We're going to have Derrick Henry in the backfield, which means there's going to be a lighter box, which means when we give the ball to Derrick Henry, he's going to get a pretty good amount of yards. And that's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened in this game. When you force a defense to have a lighter box, it makes it easier to run the ball when you spread them out. And they weren't predictable. And I said that from the very, very beginning. That's the reason why Derrick Henry was gashing the Steelers for all those yards. Because when you're in the shotgun formation, usually when you're in a shotgun formation, there's a higher percentage of you throwing the ball over passing the ball. So when the Ravens were in that shotgun formation, it was giving the indication that they were going to throw the ball, but yet they gave it to Derrick Henry. And so they became less predictable because when you're in the shotgun, you don't know if it's going to be an RPO, Lamar keeper, hand it off to Derrick Henry, or throw the ball. So they're less predictable in the shotgun formation as opposed to the I formation. Now, granted, Derrick Henry has a track record of not being the best of runners in the shotgun formation. I'm not going to say he's not the best of runners. He doesn't run the ball a lot from the shotgun formation. So there was some learning there and adaptability that Derrick Henry had to have. He's not a shotgun runner. He's a single back I formation kind of running back, or a toss running back. You toss him the ball, you let them legs get moving, and he get going. But the Ravens made an adjustment compared to that first game. A lot of shotgun running plays, and it kept the Steelers off guard because you don't know what you're going to do. So the game ball, if I had to give like an unsung hero, I would give it to Todd Monken. Outside of that bad throw, that bad call to have Lamar throw that ball for the interception, I think Todd Monken has to get a game ball for his play calling. You ran Derrick Henry, you ran Derrick Henry, you ran Derrick Henry. In a rivalry game, that's what you got to do. So he has to get a game ball, and I'm going to give him a sound the horn. That is it for the Double R post game show. Ravens win big. You guys have a wonderful night. Thank you guys for being here. I appreciate it. Let me just check the chat. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for being here. You guys are amazing. On to next week. The Ravens are going to be playing the Houston Texans on a Wednesday, a rare Wednesday game on Christmas. But we're going to be there. So they gotta kind of put this game behind them and get ready for the Houston Texans, because that's going to be another big game. CJ Stroud coming off of a loss to Kansas City. They're going to want to get that win at home on Christmas in front of their fans. Ravens got to be ready. But this is encouraging that you beat the Pittsburgh Steelers by more than one score. This was a 3-score game. So shout out to you. Thank you guys, everybody, thank you guys, Andrew, everybody, for coming through for the post game show. I will 𝐻𝐴 inbox me so we can wrap. You guys have a great night. This is your boy Retro Recap. Have a blessed night, everybody.
Yeah, have I been going this long? They actually have a tablet ordering system now where you don't even got to talk to nobody no more.
Yeah.
I go in there, I'm putting my order. I'm like, was this always here?
This is your boy Retro Recap, Double R podcast, Ravens, Orioles.